What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. We are back, and we've got more to say about Nick Emmanwori, the Seahawks second-round pick, number 35 overall. Very fun, very intriguing player, very interesting potential directions his career can go from here. And earlier today, we did a video of Nick Emmanwori by the numbers. If you haven't already seen that video, go check it out. Now we're going to do Nick Emmanwori by the traits, the skills, the pros, the cons, however you want to quantify it. That is what we're going to be doing in today's video, part 2. And basically, we're going to be talking about what does he bring to the table and what does he take off the table. What are the things that he's really good at? What are the things that he needs to get better at? What are the things that maybe he'll never be able to get better at? So there's an intriguing skill set here. There's some really interesting stuff we got to go into. So let's just go ahead and get started, starting with the pros. But first, I hope you like this video. If you do, click the like button down below. The thumbs up down below helps the channel out. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. Going to be trying to upload at least one Seahawks video a day. Once we get to the season, it'll be more like 4 to 6 videos a day. But for now, we're going to be trying to do one even during the slow part of the season. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to help support the channel. Okay, so Emmanwori pros. This first one is the most obvious. He's an all-time great athlete for the safety position. He's got size, he's got height, he's got speed, he's got quickness, he's got explosiveness. He is an absolute specimen for a safety. He might be the greatest athlete safety of all time. I think there's an argument to be made that there's never been a safety with the physical attributes of this before. He is almost the same size as Kam Chancellor, but he's much faster and much more explosive than Kam Chancellor. So to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, this guy's a freak. He's got size and speed for days. He has shown moments of being a weapon against the run. And I do want to stress that word, moments. It's not consistent yet, but sometimes he plays in the box, sometimes he plays back and comes up in run support, sometimes it's from the slot. Whatever it is, you see a good amount of tape where he is that extra linebacker against the run, where he comes up into his run fits, and his striking power and his form tackling is able to really neutralize extra yards and just get a guy to the ground. He doesn't miss a lot of tackles anymore, so there's plenty of good stuff going on with him against the run. It's not necessarily completely consistent yet, but there is a lot of good stuff here, and I think the right coach is going to be able to turn him into a full-time weapon. Should be able to be sideline to sideline against the run. He is such a good athlete. He is such a fast player that there's no reason why he can't cover sideline to sideline. This is a guy who can take lackluster angles. This is a guy who can overrun the play and still get involved because he is just that good of an athlete. His ability to go sideline to sideline against the run should be, it should be a big part of his game. So I like that stuff for sure. I think that there is real potential here for him to be a weapon deployed against running backs. His speed allows him to be rangy enough to play over the top and be the last line of defense. There are plenty of reps of him playing 2 high safety, and then there are reps of him playing single high safety. And while there's more to being a single high safety or even a 2 deep safety than just speed and range, there's also instincts, there's also reading plays. His range is going to allow him to potentially play over the top and be the last line of defense. He can be that guy who is monitoring the deep ball and taking it away because he is just that darn rangy. He's explosive and he's got length, which allows him to get to balls that others wouldn't. He's able to throw himself into a play that other players would not be able to get into. His arm length is such that he can get to balls that other players would not be able to. So the potential for him to be a disruptive guy at the point of catch is immense and obvious. So we are talking about a unique cover guy, somebody who is uniquely qualified to get his hand in the way no matter what. He can jump long distances. He can cover long distances. His ball skills are comparable to some receivers. We really saw those ball skills develop in 2024 with the 4 interceptions. He had 8 passes defensed in 2023. Really good at tracking the ball in the air, tracking it into his hands, and making the catch if the opportunity's there. He's not one of these safeties that can't catch anything. He is a good ball skill safety. So there are going to be takeaways in his future. And the versatility is perfect for a Mike Macdonald defense. And let me fix that real quick here. Let me fix the formatting because that should be ideal. But his ability to be a box safety or a deep safety is ideal for a Macdonald defense. You need to be ubiquitous as a safety in a Macdonald defense, and that's exactly what Emmanwori is. He can do both, and I believe he will be able to do both at a very high level. He can do slot corner stuff as well. Versatility. For the most part, I think he has a good feel for zone coverage, at least in terms of doing the fundamentals. He gets good depth when dropping back. He seems to have a good understanding for making sure that he's getting back far enough when he's dropping back into zone. Seems to have a good sense of being able to get back far enough to impact the play. And even when he doesn't, he's such a good athlete, he can make up for it. He can get beat and recover. He can allow a guy to get behind him or away from him and recover in much the same way that a guy like Reek Woolen does. Reek Woolen being somebody who is really, really good at getting beat and then getting back in the play because of his speed. Emmanwori can do some similar stuff. Had a significant role for the Gamecocks defense since he was 18. He was a starter from basically the jump. And that is saying a lot for a guy who was 18 and a half years old when the season started on his freshman year. So this is a guy who did not need a lot of ramp-up time in the college game, and he was just out there cranking it. We went over this earlier, but he is a great specimen. He can serve as an extra linebacker on the field with comfort and skill. If you put him up in the box at the snap, if you put him up near the line of scrimmage at the snap, he's going to be able to get to his markers. He's going to be able to get to his landmarks, and he's very, very capable of doing that extra linebacker stuff. He does display some football intelligence in reading routes when facing the play. You do see the potential to be a cerebral safety, somebody who can understand what's coming, somebody who has the ability to read the play and go to where the play is going based on what he's seeing. You do see moments of that at the very least. Athletic prowess allows him to play man as well. His combination of speed and explosiveness does allow him to man up on tight ends. He's got the length that you need to cover tight ends. He's got the size to match up with pretty much any tight end in the NFL. You could put this guy one-on-one against Darnell Washington and he'll find a way to hold up. Running backs as well. He's got the speed to cover running backs out of the backfield. So whatever you ask him to do, physically he can do it. He's got massive striking power. His combination of size and speed allows him to hit with force. And while he's not necessarily a monster forced fumble guy or anything like that, what he does do is put a stop to momentum and get the guy on the ground immediately. So some really good stuff going on there. He's become a very solid tackler over the last few years with few misses. The last 2 years, his missed tackle rate has been very reasonable and low, especially given the fact that he's a safety. Because he's so young, he's only 21, and he's going to be 21 until February of next year, there are many improvements he's due to make. There's an opportunity for him to make a lot of improvements as a 21-year-old stepping into the NFL. He's got a real chance to provide quality reps as a slot corner as well. Like I said earlier, this is a guy who should be able to be a good slot corner, and some people even think that his skill set lends itself well to being a boundary corner, which he didn't do in college, so I'm not necessarily saying that's recommended, but there is something interesting there, and maybe that's a place that he can fall if safety, if slot corner, if these things don't work out as well for him as expected. Maybe you get Emmanwori and Woolen on the outside, and Witherspoon's your slot corner. Maybe there's something there. Okay, so that's a pretty good list of pros, but there are going to be some drawbacks here. There are going to be some issues. Let's talk about them. He's got extended stretches during games of passive and invisible play, and it kind of feels like it's mostly based on desire. It's hard to know for sure. And to some degree, it's the nature of the position. But there are going to be moments you watch Emmanwori and you think to yourself, man, he's kind of hanging back. He's not really aggressively attacking the play. He just looks a little bit invisible out there, and a player this athletically talented should never be this invisible. He still has a ways to go as a reader of play when sitting in coverage. This is not a Malachi Stark situation where he's just ready to go out there and destroy everybody. This is not a situation where he's able to go out there and diagnose everything in front of him and he'll just know where the play's going. If you put this guy out there in those situations, he's going to make mistakes, especially as a young player. And there's a ways for him to go if he wants to become a truly all-around safety in terms of his actual on-field production and not just his raw skill and talent. His ability to work through traffic and get off blocks is a little inconsistent. Sometimes he tries to go around the blocker rather than working through it in a more measured way. Sometimes he tries to go around his guy rather than just taking him on the way you need to at times, which is going to be a little bit frustrating because he is so big and such a good athlete. He should be able to take on blockers and work through them, especially stock blocks from receivers. So sometimes he gets a little caught up in the wash. And again, this isn't a matter of him being bad. It's more him being inconsistent. He makes mistakes in taking angles to the ball. Sometimes he overruns the play. Sometimes he doesn't take the proper angle to get to where the ball is going. And for the most part, these mistakes get covered up by his phenomenal athletic ability. But you get to the NFL where the players that you go up against are really good athletes too. That's going to not work nearly as well. So that is something he needs to get better at. He needs to get a better understanding of how to play smartly and not just athletically. While he is obviously a very, very good athlete, he's got great athletic ability, he does have tight hips. He does have tight hips, and that does limit his ability to smoothly change direction. So that is going to be something that gets in the way of him making some of the plays that other safeties can make. There are safeties out there that have much more fluid hips, much looser hips. So that is one area. There's a reason why he didn't do the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle at the combine properly. He probably would have done pretty poorly because his ability to change direction and move freely in space is far from ideal. I would go so far as to say, a weakness, not just a neutral point. It's actually a weakness. He gets tunnel vision when reading and reacting to the play at times. Feels like he doesn't have a great sense of the overall picture. He just kind of ends up not seeing the forest for the trees. His back pedal does not look natural. It's a slow and segmented flipping of the hips when he needs to flip the hips. So that's going to limit some of the things that he can do effectively at the NFL level. It's a thing where sometimes when you flip your hips, it's going to be slow and it's going to allow him to get beat. And then he's going to have to depend on his speed to allow him to get back into the play, which is always dicey. Little bit of a penalty problem in 2024. Got a little bit grabby, I would say. Started to commit some of those grabby type penalties where he panics a little bit when deep down the field. And I think that there is some reasonable concern about how much he loves football and how much he really wants to be great based on the tape, based on the attitude he presents to the public. I don't think there's a concern, but for what we saw on the field at South Carolina, I do think it's reasonable to say, hey, does this guy want to be the best safety in the league? Because he mostly could be. Or does he just want to be a flashy safety that does good things every now and then, but is generally frustrating? Time will tell. But those are the traits for Nick Emmanwori as I see it. He is an absolute physical specimen. Going to be very fun to see whether or not he works out. But you can see the limitations here. Some of it is self-imposed. Some of it I think can easily be fixed. Some of it is on him. And some of it is also not really fixable either. There are going to be issues here. His hip tightness in particular, I think, is an obstacle that may not be fixable. You're going to have to work around it, and he's going to have to become a more cerebral player to make up for things like that. All right. I'll see you guys later. One more Emmanwori video later today. See you guys soon. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. That's my current read on him.